Okay. So till now, what we have seen, that last class we have seen how we have worked with data. So if there is a table, there are data in it, right? So these tables are called objects, and the data is there as different records in this tables, right? So, but in Salesforce, there is a thing called security that governs who sees these records or this table. So it is very, very vital because there are so many people, so many users from the seller side who are using Salesforce, right? Not all people need every data, but this organization has the whole data in the seller side, right? All the agents data is there, technical people's data is there, business people's data is there, everything is there, right? But not everybody needs everything, right? If we open up, if we give access to all data to everybody, then there would be unauthorized changes happening, right? Like I am working on an opportunity, and that is very critical. Somehow by mistake, some other person came and modified the stage of that opportunity. My whole job is screwed, right? Huge problem. This cannot happen. So we have to be very alert. Just make sure that the authorized people are only working on that data. Nobody else is able to see that data, or if they are able to see, then probably not modify that data, right? So that is the whole point of security. So what the security are of usually three types. I will create three circles like this, and I will explain this. It's quite similar to in Mahabharata we have heard about Chakravyu, right? So it's quite similar to that. What does it mean? That is mean if you cannot get past in this level is not accessible to you. If you cannot get past of this level is not accessible. Yeah. So that is what it means. So let's see. First level of security is called object level security, or OLS. The second level of security is called field level security, FLS. Third level security is called record level security, RLS. What is object level security? Object level security means, can I access this table or not? Do I have access to this table itself? Can I see this table? Okay, that is. OLS and FLS are related to owners' data. So this means, what are the different accesses possible in a table? Can somebody say me? Based on last session, what are the different operations that is possible in a table? Or an object?
So editing, creating, deleting.
Yes, CRUD or create. Right? These are the operations. Please learn it by heart. CRED, simple, create. Create or CRUD. Somebody says CRUD also, somebody says create. So that means create, read, edit, delete. That means every row, either you can create a row, you can read a row, edit a row, or delete a row, right? In a table. Simple. These are the four operations that can happen on a table. OLS means, can I do create, read, edit, and delete operations on the records which I own? Okay. Can I create records which I own? Can I read records which I own? Can I edit records which I own? Can I delete records which I own? Clear? Any confusion? Thus, if you have, what is the basic permission of a table? The read is the basic permission of a table, right? Can I see the data of the table? Then the other permissions comes in, right? Can I create new records? Can I edit existing record? Can I delete existing records? So read is the basic permission of OLS. Any other permission you want to give, you must have a read permission first. You cannot have create permission without read. You cannot have edit permission without read. You cannot have delete permission without read and edit both. Okay. Now, this is the table level permission. On the whole table, do I have access? And if I have access, what kind of access do I have? Can I create? Can I read? Can I edit? Can I delete? That is overall on that table. That is OLS. If I have access on the table, then the second level permission is the field level security. Field level security means every column. Can I see data in this column or not? Column 1, column 2, column 3, column 4. So first level permission is CRED. Second level permission is visible. And if visible, is it editable, right? For FLS, can I see this column data? And if I see the column data, can I edit that data? What does it mean? What it means, even if I have edit permission, and on this column, I may not have a visible permission or edit permission. That means when I click the edit button, this data or this field will show up as read only for me because I don't have permission to edit that. Okay. So I'm going a little one level deeper. So if I do not have field level permission on that column, I cannot update or see the data even if I have CRUD permission on the table. So I'm going a little deeper. I can control each column wise, whether I have access to this column or not, this column or not, this column or not, this column or not. Can you give me an example? Maybe there is an employee table. Okay. In that there is a one column on one field, which is called salary. Now the salary field should only be visible to HR people, but all employees must be seen by everybody. So in that case, the column 4 or salary column or salary field will only be accessible to the profiles who have HR permissions. Okay, or people with have HR permissions. Right? So this is the second level permission. So if you do not have create permission, then this is useless. That is why it is one level deep. Now, if you have field level permissions, first and foremost, OLS and FLS both are provided, or these accesses are given to individual users using profiles and permission sets. Profiles and permission sets. What are profiles? Profiles is which kind of user it is, right? Every user will have a mandatory profile associated to it. One profile, mandatory profile. You cannot create a new user in Salesforce without a profile assignment. You have to specify which profile it has. That profile will give all these permissions. This create permission, OLS permissions, and FLS permission. We'll see this in detail. Don't worry about it. So both the permission, object level security and field level security or field level permissions, both are given through profiles and permission sets. Permission sets are like granular, small permissions that can be given to a users, and there can be multiple permission sets that can be assigned to a user. Total permission of a user will be profiles plus all the permission sets that has been assigned to them. Yeah. So that is the whole permissions that a user can have in Salesforce. We'll see that. So we saw the total access of the table. Then we saw column access of the table. Now, similarly, you can have also horizontal access, right? Each record, is it visible to you? Is it editable to you? That is record level security. This record level security is of 3 types. In fact, yeah, 3 types. One is private. One is public read only, another is public read write. RLS is specific to records which is not owned by you. OLS and FLS specifies permissions for records which is owned by you. RLS specifies permission which is not owned by you. Okay, what does that mean? That means if it is set to private, then I cannot see records owned by somebody else. Only the owner can see their records. That is private model. Okay, rest of the people cannot see. It is almost like it is like that record is not even there. Okay, you will never know that there is a record like this if you are not the owner. Only the owner of that record will be able to see that record. Who is the owner will see that in details. Public read only is another setting which can be applied on record level security. Record level security, if it is set to public read only, that means if you are a non-owner, if you're not the owner of that record, you can see that record, but you cannot edit that record. It is read only for you. So everybody can see everybody's record, but only the owner can edit their own records if they have edit permissions. That is important. Okay. Otherwise, everybody will be read only. Third is public read write. That means there is no permission. That means everybody can see everybody's record, everybody can edit everybody's record. No security at all. Any question till now? Record level security is assigned using a thing called OWD, org wide defaults. Any questions so far, guys? We'll move on to more complicated stuff now. Any questions?
No, sir.
No, so clear.
All clear? Good. So let's now look at some metrics. Now you will be helping me out answering that. I want you to answer it with the best of your knowledge. Don't hesitate to answer. That is very important. So owner, non-owner, OLS and OW. Let me ask, what is the basic permission of OLS? Who can say that?
Read.
Read, absolutely. OWD is set to private. Can a owner create new records? It cannot, right? Create permission is not there. Can a owner edit his own records?
No.
Not there, right? Permission is not there. Similarly, delete, right? Only they can see their own records because only read permission has been given. Non-owner cannot see records, right? The non-owner will have no permission. Is this clear? Any confusion? We'll get into more combinations now.
No, sir. Clear.
Clear? Now let me give create permission here in OLS. What will happen?
Owner can create records.
Owner can create. Non-owner still cannot see, cannot create, right?
Yes, sir.
Now let me give edit permission. What will happen now?
Now owner can edit as well.
What about the non-owner?
Non-owner still can't.
Can't, right? Yes. Now I give the delete permission. What will happen?
It can delete as well. Owner.
Yes. So is it clear? The non-owner cannot do any operations because he cannot see that record at all. Right? Let me go back. to again start with read. Now I make it public read only. What will happen now?
Now both owner and other people can see the data.
Yeah, create, they can do or not?
No.
Edit cannot do. Read only. That's why edit can be done. Owner can see his records, right? Read permission. A non-owner can also have is a read-only permission, so he can also see, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, got it.
Yes.
What about now?
Now
Owner can create.
Now owner can create. What about the non-owner?
Cannot.
can't.
Cannot. What about now?
Owner can edit.
What about the non-owner?
Still can't.
Now
Owner can delete.
clear for everybody?
Yes, sir.
Now let us change this to read write. I am assuming the both owners and non-owners have the same profile. Okay, that means the same permissions they have. So now tell me what is happening. Read permission.
The non-owner can read as well and edit as well.
Cannot edit because in OLS level he does not have edit permission right now.
Oh, it means a non-owner as well.
As I said, OLS is like a chakra view, right? If you do not have permission in the outer circle, you cannot go inside,
Okay.
right?
Yes. Sir.
Even if you have permission to edit, but still in the outer circle you don't have permission, right? That is why you cannot edit. Even if you are eligible through OWD to edit, but still you are not able to edit because you do not have permission to edit. Owner and non-owner both has OLS same. Okay, we're assuming that. Now I give this credit permission for owner and non-owner both. What happens?
Owner can create, but non-owner can't create.
Of course can create. He has a read write access.
Right. So right.
Right means he can now create records. He has access to edit. He can change. He can create new records.
Okay. Sir.
What about now?
Now they can edit.
Both of them can edit, right?
Yes.
Yes.
What about delete? Owner can delete. Non-owner can also delete. Specific only exception is there are some objects which he cannot delete. Okay, some objects like case and some things. There are a few objects which needs only owner can delete that. Apart from that, most of the tables he will be able to delete. All clear, guys? So how to remember this complicated thing? Very easy. There is a easy process to remember this one. Yeah, see how we can remember this. So the easy process is combine the permission you have in profile plus permission sets and compare that with OWD. Whichever is lesser wins. Simple logic. So if you have greater permission here, lesser permission here, then lesser permission will win. If you have greater permission here, lesser permission here, then lesser permission will win. Clear?
Yes, sir.
Very easy. So you don't have to remember that whole table. It's very easy. Yes, this is the logic. Apply this logic to the whole table. You will be able to derive it. All clear? Now, let's see. So there are three entities we talked about: profile, permission set, and org wide defaults. Profile, through profile, you can give object level security, field level security. Through permission set, you can give object level security, field level security. Org wide default, you give record level security. Yeah. So if there is a question in your interview that I don't want two users to see each other's record, simple answer: org wide default needs to be set to be private. Org wide default will be for every object. We will have a org wide default setting. Every object. So if account is set to private, contact might be set to public, something else. It can be different. Yeah. So we'll see this in details. Any questions so far before we move to Salesforce and see this?
No, so clear.
Great, fantastic. Let's go to Salesforce. You have to go to setup. Let's first see any user. You can create new user in this Trailhead, or you can create another user. You are already set up here. If you launch this Trailhead, or you can create a new user like this. You put all your details, username, a new email ID, or your existing email ID. It does not matter. You select this Salesforce license, and then you can see all the profiles that can be possible here. These are the standard profiles which comes or Salesforce gives us. These standard profiles cannot be modified. If you want to modify profiles, then you have to like clone a existing profile and then modify it. So you see, profile is a mandatory field. Red bar is there. Role looks like mandatory, but role is basically not mandatory. So when you set it up and you save, immediately there will be a mail sent to this email ID. And basically you will get a user ID password. You can set up user ID password, and then you can log to login.salesforce.com through that user ID password. So you don't have to go to this hands-on org and you have to launch it. Okay. So that is the benefit. So that becomes another user. So you have to set up the next user as a system admin. Otherwise you cannot change anything. Okay. So you have to select this profile as system administrator. Yeah. So now let's see the profiles. There are so many profiles which Salesforce automatically gives us, right? You see, out of that, I can go ahead and clone any of the existing profiles. So let's see if there is a system admin. System administrator. I am cloning this profile. And you say custom admin. When I create a new profile, basically it will see this is the is a difficult page to It's not very difficult, but it is a big page to configure. There's all the permissions of the application is provided using profiles. And then of course you have additional permissions you can provide using permission sets. Yeah. So here you can see there is a, every object, there is a use a standard object permissions are there. Every object will have read, create, edit, delete, view all, modify. What is view all and modify? I will come to that. So you see everything is checked. Why? Because I copied from the standard system admin profile, right? Had I copied from a standard user profile, this will not have been checked. You see what happens if I take the read permission, everything goes out because read is a basic permission. So minimum permission which you can provide on a table is read. That means I can see all the records that is owned by me. Okay, just give me 1 second. Hey, Baba. Sorry about it. So this is the read access. So that is the basic permission which I have to give to any user. That means the owner will have the ability to see their own records, right? Now I can give create permission. If you see that I take out permission and give only create, automatically read permission comes in. If I give edit, automatically read permission comes in. If I give delete, automatically read, edit, and delete permissions are applied. Okay, you cannot take out read and give a delete, edit, or create permissions. That is very important to understand. But all these 4 permissions, read, create, edit, delete, are applicable for the records owned by the owners. Okay, so this permission will be applicable for all the records that has the owner as that same person with whom this permission is getting applied. I will show that owner. What is the owner field? So if I give these permissions and the OWD is set to private, that means I cannot see the other people's record, right? But even if the OWD is set to private, or even if the OWD is configured, I can bypass that OWD using this view all and modify all permission. If I do a view all, what happens is that even if the OWD is set to private, I can still see records owned by others. If I do modify all, even the OWD is set to private or read only, I can still modify the records of the others. Usually system administrator has these 2 permissions. That's why they can bypass OWD. They can still see other records. Any questions so far, guys? So view all and modify all is basically a bypass of OWD that you can set on your profiles itself. Usually we do not give view all, modify all permissions to people. We will only give these things. Okay. Only system administrator will have view all, modify. Let's see permission set. It is exactly the same. Permission set is just add-on permissions on top of profiles. So if you create a new permission and you give, like in profiles, you have a read permission on account, On profile, you gave a create permission on account. Then the total permission of that user will become create and read. Yeah. So all the permissions that is been given in profile plus all the permissions given in the multiple permission sets, that becomes your. You go to users, set any user. Down below, you can set permission sets. You can select which permissions you want to add and then save. Immediately that becomes your the additional permissions. You have to make sure that the permission sets you are selecting does have the user license same. If it is a Salesforce user license, permission sets that you are selecting, you can also set up the user licenses so that you can make sure that I cannot assign wrong permission set to wrong people. Yeah. Okay. So object level security. Now let's see. What is the field level security? If you go to the same profile once again, there is an easy way of seeing it, but I will show you the tougher path first. Then I will show you the easy path. So if you go to this profile once again, there is a section called field level security. For each object, you can go and check what is the permissions given for each field. Usually it is all ticked, but if you want to make some fields invisible, you can do this. If you want fields to be read only, but edit access should not be there, so it will be read only for those users, you can do that. If you do this, that means even if they have edit permission, a screen will open, but only one field will be non-editable. Yeah. So this is granular level. It is a easier thing to do is the field accessibility. That is a new thing which has come in. So it is very easy for you to now work on each object, and you can view by fields and you can view by profiles. So if you view by fields, then you can at a time give access to one field to multiple people, multiple profiles. Yeah. And you can also view by profiles. In that case, you can see all the fields that is applicable for that profile. So this is a better way of handling it. But of course, you can go to the profile and change it. The same thing, it is stored in the profile. You change it from here, field accessibility, or change it in the profile directly. Okay. Now the last part is record level security. If you go to the sharing setting, you see this is org wide defaults, and if you see all objects has a setting. Ignore this external access, it is not for you. We will concentrate on internal access first. You see, if you go to the account object, you see this is a private read only and public read write. Some child objects like contact has additional permission called control by parent. What does that mean? Control by parent means whatever is set in the parent, which is account, will be applicable for this object also. So if the account is public read write, then contact is also public read write. If your account is public read only, contact is automatically public read only. If your account is private, contact is also private. Okay. So you don't have to individually go and change everything. But if you set this as control by parent, then automatically what is applicable for the parent is also applicable for the child. The same setting is applicable for the child. So that control by parent gives you easy way to set up. That if you control it via the parent objects, then you don't have to individually go to each child object and set the access. Please remember that this control by parent is only there for child objects, which is specific child, not all. You will get this in order, contact, asset, and probably another object is there, which does have that. Yeah, there are some few objects which already have. Okay, so that is child objects only. Opportunity, you see these three normal basic accesses. So control by parent, is that means it will inherit the setting, whatever setting you are doing here, from the parent to the child. If the child is a master detail child, automatically that object is controlled by parent. If you remember the difference between lookup and master detail, in master detail objects there was no owner, but whole security model is revolving around the owner of a record, right? So if the owner field is missing in the child object of master detail, then how are we controlling security? It is automatically controlled by the parent. The owner of the parent, whatever security is applicable for that object will be applicable for that child object also. Where is the owner? If you go to the account or any record in Salesforce, you will always have a owner. So this is the record we are talking about. If you change this owner, then basically you give access to another person. Yeah, then this original user, even if this user has created the record, will lose access. Okay, so creator, if you go to the details page, you might see the created by usually it becomes the owner of the record, but there is no hard and fast rule that this owner cannot be changed. If you change this owner, even if you are the creator of the record, you will not have access. Owner will have all the access. So it is very important. Every record of Salesforce will have an owner. Only the master detail object will not have owner. For master detail records, the parent side owner will be applicable. So this is the guy who owns this record, who can do everything on that record. Clear? If you go to contacts, contacts also has owner. You go to opportunity also has owner. Every object in Salesforce will have an owner. Lead will also have owner. Okay, so this record is the most crucial field of Salesforce. This controls the security. If the OWD is set to public read write, then nobody cares about the owner. Everybody can see everybody's record. But if the OWD is set to public read only or private, this guy is the man who is controlling this record. Clear?
Yes, sir.
Overdosed today? Or we can go to more advanced topics. Let me know. Are you ready for more?
Yes, sir.
All sure? That's fine. So now we will go back to our whiteboard once again. So we saw that even if so owner and this private OW setting, OWD is very crucial, object wide defaults, so through which only owner can access that record, or we give we obstruct the non-owners from seeing records or modifying records, right? OWD is for non-owners permission, right? That means if OWD is set to private, I am saying no, the non-owners can't see. And if I see public read only, then I say non-owners cannot edit. They can see, but they cannot edit, right? And if I set OWD as read only, I can say no security. Yeah, everybody can edit everybody's record, right? But this is all OWD is object specific. So account will have its own OWD setting, contact will have its own OWD setting, every object will have its own OWD setting. So far we are clear. But there can be situations wherein a small set of people might need to see your data. Let's see, Small set of people means maybe you are a sales representative and it is a very sensitive data. You are working on an opportunity. So not any other people should see your data. So opportunity is set to private. Now nobody else can see your data, but you need your manager to help you out in the deal. Manager must see your data. Or maybe your team member should be able to see your data. And you can have a specific 2 or 3 people helping out in the deal, but they cannot also see that data because they are not the owners. You cannot change owner, then you will lose access. I cannot change the OWD because it's a sensitive data. I only want to show my data to specific people. How can I bypass OWD for only specific people? One way we already saw, if I give a view all permission to those users, but if I give a view all permission to that user, he is able to see not only my records, he can see other records also. Every record in that table he will be able to see, right? But that is not the requirement. I only want to show my records to him, to my manager. So I cannot go with view all permission. He will see more data than he should see. Edit all is another thing. Maybe I allow some people to edit my records also because they are maybe my bosses. But if I get edit all permission to those people, they will be able to edit anybody's record, even if that is not his guy, not his junior. Yeah. So view all, edit all is not a way. What are the other mechanisms of showing my records to other people selectively? In Salesforce, we call it sharing of records or record sharing. Same thing. Okay. What are the different mechanisms of sharing records? Number one, manual sharing. In every record, you will get a share button, sharing button. Through sharing, you can give your access. The owner can do this. Okay. Owner can share manually to specific users. That is manual sharing. We'll show it that way. What is the second technique? Another technique is team sharing. In a few objects of Salesforce, what are the few objects? Account, opportunity, case. In these objects, there is a thing called team, account team, opportunity team, case team. Okay. So if you add, again, this can be done by owner. This also can be done by system administrator. Doesn't matter. I will keep it as owner. So if you add team members in that team, they will automatically start seeing that record or they can edit that record. It's like a sophisticated version of manual sharing. But this is only applicable for 3 objects. Third, these are manual steps. Manual sharing and team sharing, both are manual process, only given by the owner. Owner can do that. But what if I want to automatically assign people? Whenever I get some records, I should automatically assign this to some people, or like manager should always see my records, right? So that is called a role hierarchy. Now the role is coming for the first time, right? We are hearing this. Role hierarchy is a tree-like structure. So it's a role 1 that can be a CEO of the company. Under him, there will be VP sales, VP service, vice president sales, vice president service. Underneath, it will be sales agent India, sales agent Australia. Here, service agent India, service agent Australia. So if I have multiple users, like two people working in India has the same role, they cannot see each other's record. But a person who has been assigned this role, he can see all the people who has been assigned this role, the data of these people. This guy can see all the records owned by this one, this one, this one, this one, this one, and this one. This guy can see record owned by this one and this one. This guy can see record owned by this one and this one. Clear? Please remember, one role can be assigned to multiple users. Okay. One user can only have one role, but multiple users can have the same role. Okay. So all the people of India, sales agents, will have probably the same role. And the VP of India will see everybody's record, but they cannot see each other's record. People with the same role cannot see each other's record. Okay. People with the higher role can only see people with lower roles record. Okay. Very clear. This is the automatic way of sharing. So if you create role hierarchy, if you create role, assign role to people, then that guy's records will automatically share to the higher boss. This is the way you can automatically share your records to managers. We'll see this. What else? Now, I have created a upward sharing, right? That means my boss, his boss, and his boss, and his boss. But what if I want to share records which is not relevant to the role hierarchy? Maybe there is another team that is called, they are like acquisition team, which has been created. They must see everybody's record. I can change the role hierarchy, but it's a small team which has been created just for a specific purpose, then this will go away. So it is not advisable to change the role hierarchy. You can just create a new role, or don't even put them into role. You can create a new thing called user group. User group is not something which is the technique of sharing. So what you get, the third technique is called, it is a vertical sharing, like what is role hierarchy. The fourth technique sharing is horizontal sharing. That means if I want to give this person's record, or like this person's record, that is horizontal sharing, right? So I'm sharing to like this, I'm sharing like this. If that is the case, we have to create a sharing rule. For sharing rule, you don't need role. You can also do sharing rule with a group of people. That group of people is called public group. So you can, sharing rule are of two types. One, ownership based sharing. Another is criteria based sharing. What is ownership based sharing? Ownership means I have to specify who is the owner of that record. I am choosing the records to share, automatically share using sharing rule by selecting who is the owner. How can I select who is the owner? I can select owner of a public group. All the people who belong to this public group, all records owned by the people in this public group, I select that. I can do that. Or I can say all the records belonging to this role, I select that. That is ownership based sharing. I can share that record to any role or public group. Okay. Criteria based sharing means if I am using a field value for sharing instead of a ownership. Like I am saying, all people, or like account wherein billing state is Colorado should be shared to a public group which is called Colorado users. Right? That is a criteria based sharing. Then I am choosing records not based on who is the owner. I'm choosing based on a specific field value of that record. Any questions so far, guys? Fifth technique is Apex managed sharing. This can be achieved using code or using flows and process builders. We will discuss flows and process builder later. Code is not applicable for people who want to do admin training. Code is applicable for people who want to do developer training. Flow and process builder is applicable for everybody. So we will teach flow and process builder first. You can do this using code also. Why do I need this? There are so many techniques we discussed. Manual sharing, team sharing, role hierarchy, sharing rule. Why do we need Apex managed sharing? Apex managed sharing is in a situation where I do not know whom to share the record. Both sharing rule, role hierarchy, team sharing, and manual sharing are static, right? I know whom to share the record. But what if I do not know in runtime or after some logic, it is automatically coming up which person to share? If that is the case, I do not know upfront whom to share, then you will need to use Apex managed sharing. Let me give you an example. If I create a new field on account called account coordinator, which is a user lookup field, and I say that I want to share this record, account owner, apart from account owner, the account coordinator should also see that record wherein he is the account coordinator. And that is a lookup field in account. Now I can choose any user anytime, right? When I create a record. So I cannot create a sharing rule because I don't know whom to share, because that will be chosen when the record is getting created. So this is a runtime decided who is the person who I have to share. So this is a logic driven sharing or dynamic sharing. That is why you have to write logic for sharing this. So this is called Apex managed sharing. This is also automatic sharing, but logic driven. That's why you have to use a code or a flow and process builder. Advanced topic. Now there are other techniques also which we will not discuss in our session, but you just remember these names so that it can ring a bell. But there are some other methods of sharing also. One of the thing is called territory management. Advanced topic will not go into that. Territory management. That means you can share based on different territories. Territory will have its own hierarchy again, just similar to role hierarchy, but it is a territory management. Territory management can coexist with role hierarchy. So the record can be shared through role hierarchy. It can be also shared through territory hierarchy. So that is all territory management. That is advanced topic. We'll not cover this. Apart from that, there can be the pages. Through pages, it can be lightning pages, it can be Visualforce pages. If you write your own UI, through that you can show users some records which they do not own, right? And view all, modify all, we already discussed. So these are things which these two we are not going to discuss. These are advanced things. And view or modify all we already discussed. So these are total. These are the all record sharing. So I will go one by one. We'll see the top 4. Apex managed sharing. I will give you a link after we cover the process. I will process builders and flows, and we'll see that later. But manual sharing is sharing my record to somebody else one by one. Team sharing is I can create my own team and assign that team to that record. Automatically, all these people get shared, or I can individually add my team to a record. Role hierarchy is automatic sharing. Role hierarchy is set by system administrators. A normal owner cannot set the role hierarchy, right? So this is done. It will be your job to create this role hierarchy. This is automatic sharing, wherein juniors records can be shared to seniors record. Senior sharing rule again will be created by system admins, wherein you can choose records owned by some people or criteria based records. You can choose those records and share it to roles or public groups. These 4 we are going to see. Any questions so far? Yeah. So in order to use sharing, first we have to make sure that OWD of that record must be restrictive. Otherwise, you cannot. There is no need to share, right? There is no security. So I will go to sharing setting. Let me check which object does have restrictions. So let me set a restriction on. Usually, you will have opportunity object that will be restricted to private. Usually. So I have set opportunity as private. I now go back, refresh my screen. Go to opportunity. Let's go to any of the records. Here you will have something called a sharing. You see, here you can go and select a user and you can share it. You can share, give him a read-only permission, give a read-write permission, just like you. Maybe you want to show this record to them because they are working with you. So this is a manual share. Here, let me see what happens in the background. Whenever a record is set to private or read-only, immediately what happens? A share object is created for you in the background. Salesforce is maintaining this sharing using that record. So if I go to query, there is called now an opportunity, will have an opportunity share object. This object will not be available. Every object will have a share object. Account will have an account share object. But this object will not be visible to you or not be available to you. This is only in background only you can see. You cannot see this object here in UI. Okay, in Workbench only you can see. But here, what you will able to see is that what is the opportunity ID and what is the reason for sharing and whom are we sharing. There are other levels also, like what is the access level. So if I see this record, every record you will see the owner's entry is already automatically met. So there are total 32, right? So you see this, there are 31 records in Salesforce. If you go to opportunity, there would be 31 records in Salesforce. 31 records in Salesforce, right? You see 31. So for all, it is keeping track of the owner. The row cause is owner. That means this opportunity with all permission has been shared to the owner, shared to this person because he's the owner. Okay, this table is tracking that. Now I just did a manual sharing, right, to another user. So I gave a read-only permission. So this opportunity has been shared to this person manually, and he has only read permission. That is how we read this. How can we see this in UI? If I go to this user view in Salesforce, no, not so. View in Salesforce, this opportunity I open. And go to sharing. And you see, I have already shared this record to integration user. So Animesh Banerjee already is the owner. That's why I have all permissions. I cannot modify that because I will always have all permission. The other permission, the other user who I have shared has read-only permission. I can now change this to read-write. If I save this and go to Workbench and query once again, you see now he has edit permission. Manual share. Similarly, if I give permissions, you can send mobile generator. Here there is a related list. And in the related list, you see there is nothing called a team, right? But team sharing is also possible. You have to go to the setup and you have to go to team. You see there are different teams. Account teams are there, opportunity team is there, case team is there, right? So I will have to first enable team selling. If I enable team selling, then it will ask me where to add this team, in which layouts. I will add to all layouts. Save it. If I do this now and I refresh my screen, or I refresh this screen, here you see you have now come up with the account opportunity team. Now I can add my default team. That means I have created a team and I have multiple people whom I work regularly. Then I can create a team and I can add that default team to this record, or I can individually choose people. I choose executive sponsor if the user is integration user, and this is a read-only permission, and I save it. So I have now created a new team member. Yeah, and I added to this. Now let's look at how it is changing here. Now you see the same ID now through team sharing. Row cause is now team. This it's the same user, but it is keeping track that it can be another user also, right? So maybe I have manually shared to one user, and I have added another person in the team. Here in this org, I have only 2 users, so cannot do much. So edit and read. But if this is the setting, what will be the permission this person has? This person has edit permission now through manual sharing, and read permission through team sharing. So he will have a edit permission overall, because the highest permission will be applicable to that user, because the same user is there, right? So are you getting the point now? The team and manual sharing, these are the sharing that is done by the owner of the record. The owner can add a person in team, or he can add it manually to that record. Team will be only available for account, opportunity, and case. You cannot use team in any other objects. So if you are using any other objects, then manual sharing will be the option for you. Usually where there is a team, you don't use manual sharing. Where you use manual sharing, you don't use teams. Yeah, that is the way it is. Apart from that, now let's see what are the automatic ways of sharing. We saw role hierarchy, right? Let's see that role hierarchy. If you go to the role, you can set up role of an organization. There can be different ways in which setup. Usually you see the president, CEO, CFO, these kind of executive staff will be on the top. Then we have this different areas, directors will be there, sales representatives will be there. So it's a sample which is given. So you can, some setup is already done here. So you see there is a top level role which we have given, so that even CEO's record can be seen by somebody else. Because CEO might see everybody's record, but in Salesforce, there can be more powerful people than CEO, because the system administrator is more powerful than the CEO in Salesforce, right? Because he can control everything. So under CEO, there can be different operations. Here, you can have sales and marketing, SVP. He can have different international marketing, one of the unit. Underneath, there can be directors. Underneath them, there can be other sales, Eastern sales team. Underneath, there can be you can add new roles here. Now you can say that I add a new role. Save it. If you do that, then this role is created. When you go to users, assign this role. You can now, what is the new role that we created? Test role. Yeah, this is available now. So the people who are above, all the roles which is above the test role will automatically now see my owned records. Clear? But for that, I have to make sure that this role hierarchy is set up for that object. For standard object, you cannot change role hierarchy. Role hierarchy is automatic. You cannot remove role hierarchy based sharing. But for custom object, you can choose not to share via role hierarchy. You see, there are 2 custom objects here. On that, I can take out role hierarchy sharing. But for all the standard fields of Salesforce, this is grant access using hierarchies. This will be ticked. That means a junior's record will be shown to senior. But in custom objects, you can control with the behavior. By default, it's ticked, but you can tick out if you want. Last thing is the same on this sharing setting. You will see down below, every object will have a sharing rule. Before we create a sharing rule, we want to see what is a public group. There are 2 kinds. Public groups are basically a group of users. It can contain another public group. It can contain a few roles. It can contain. So let's create my public group, right? I can select any existing public groups inside it. So public group might control 2 or 3 public groups. I can select some roles. I can also select users, individual users. Yeah. So I have selected 2 roles and 2 individual users in this public group. And I just save. So I have created a public group. What is the benefit? If I create something like this, when I am creating a sharing setting, I don't have to depend only on role. So if I go to maybe opportunity sharing, I create a new opportunity sharing. So what I can do, I can select role or public group. So I can select role, and I can say CEO, in North American data should be shown to international people. This is one of the, so this is a opportunity based on record owner, that is ownership based sharing. I can also choose based on criteria. This is criteria based sharing. If I say opportunity stage, if it equals or closed won, then I will always share this to CEO. Or I can choose the public group and I say my public group, share me to this point. I can also use my public group for selecting records also. I can go here and I say my public group users should see each other's records. So the people who inside my public group, their record should be shared to all the people who belong to the same public group. So they can see each other's records. This can also become a shared. Creating the public group does not automatically share records. Okay, public group is just a group of users you identify, but then you have to create a sharing rule in order to give them access. Clear, guys? Any questions so far? If there are no further questions, we'll end the session today. A lot of materials for you. Security and sharing are the most important topics. If it is not clear, you do not know Salesforce. So please listen to this video again and again. Read those modules again and again. It has to be crystal clear because most of the interview questions will come from this area. If you're working as an admin, yeah. Any questions? Otherwise, we'll close the call.